My beloved child, stop scrolling for just a moment, because what you are about to hear was not placed before you by accident. Something has been moving behind the silence, something your eyes have not been able to see, but your heart has already begun to sense. Your special person has been avoiding your face, turning away too quickly, lowering their eyes, pretending to be distracted, and you may have wondered whether their feelings have disappeared. But heaven is revealing that the truth is far more emotional than rejection. Do not leave yet. Stay until the end, because the reason they cannot look at you for long is connected to a feeling they have tried desperately to hide, and once you understand it, many confusing moments will suddenly make sense. Pause here and breathe, because there is a hidden story unfolding in the space between you and this person. They do not avoid your face because they see nothing. They avoid it because they see too much. Every time their eyes meet yours, they are reminded of emotions they thought they had buried. Your face has slowly become like a mirror that reflects the truth they are afraid to confess. It reminds them of what they feel, what they lost, what they regret, and what they may still hope for when no one is watching. This is why their reaction can seem strange. One moment they may appear calm and distant, and the next, their entire energy changes when you enter the room. Something inside them becomes unsettled, not because you bring darkness, but because your presence awakens a truth they have not yet learned how to carry. What you are hearing now may feel deeply personal because it is touching the very question you have quietly asked: why do they act as though seeing me affects them? The answer is that it does. More than they want you to know. Your face has become connected in their mind to a moment they cannot forget. Perhaps it was a conversation, a look, a goodbye, a misunderstanding, or a time when you were kind to them while they were fighting a private battle. They remember something about you that you may not even realize was important. They remember the way you looked when you were trying to remain strong. They remember the softness in your expression when you could have chosen anger. They remember the disappointment you tried to hide. And over time, these memories have gathered emotional weight. Do not skip this next part, because the deepest reason is beginning to rise. Your special person once believed that distance would make everything easier. They thought that by avoiding your eyes, changing the subject, becoming quiet, or pretending not to notice you, the feelings would slowly weaken. But the opposite happened. The more they tried to avoid what your face represented, the more powerful the memory became. Now, seeing you feels like opening a door they spent a long time trying to close. It feels like hearing a song that immediately takes them back to a moment they were not ready to revisit. It feels like standing before a truth that refuses to disappear simply because they refuse to speak it. There is something extraordinary waiting inside this message, and you must stay with it, because the truth becomes stronger from here. Your face has begun to feel like a question to them. A question that asks, why did you hide what was real? A question that asks, why did you walk away from something your heart still recognizes? A question that asks, what are you going to do now that time has not erased this connection? They may never hear those words aloud, but they feel them when they see you. Your expression speaks without speaking. Your presence brings back the version of themselves they were when everything between you still felt possible. They may avoid looking at you because they fear you will see through them. They fear that 1 second of eye contact will expose the emotion behind their controlled expression. They have become skilled at hiding behind short conversations, busy schedules, casual behavior, or silence. Yet your eyes make those walls feel weak. They worry you will notice the way their face changes around you. They worry you will see regret. They worry you will recognize longing. They worry you will understand that their distance has never been as simple as it appeared. Heaven is not revealing this to make you chase anyone or force a moment that is not ready. This message comes to help you understand what may be happening beneath the surface, while reminding you to protect your peace. You are not being asked to prove your worth. You are not being asked to beg for clarity. You are being shown that silence can sometimes hide a storm, and avoidance can sometimes be the language of someone who has not yet made peace with their own heart. Their reaction is not a measurement of your value. It is a reflection of their unresolved emotions. Something huge is waiting for you in the next revelation, because there is another reason your face has become difficult for them to see. Over time, your face has started to feel like a memory of safety. This person may have spent months or years trying to convince themselves that they did not need the comfort they once felt around you. They may have surrounded themselves with noise, new routines, different people, or constant distractions. But deep within, they still associate you with a rare feeling of being understood. They remember moments when you saw beyond their words. They remember when you noticed their silence. They remember when your presence made life feel less heavy. And that memory frightens them, because safety creates vulnerability. Looking at your face reminds them of how much power they gave the connection. It reminds them that you once reached a part of them that very few people have ever touched. They may not know how to return to that feeling without admitting how much it mattered. So they turn away. They become distant. They act unaffected. But beneath that performance, their heart is reacting to something familiar. Do not leave now, because the most surprising layer has not yet been uncovered. Your special person may also feel ashamed of how they handled something between you. This does not necessarily mean they intended to hurt you. Sometimes people make choices from fear, pride, confusion, pressure, or emotional immaturity. Later, when the noise settles, they finally see the consequences clearly. Your face may remind them of a moment when they should have spoken but remained silent. A time when they should have shown courage but chose distance. A moment when they misunderstood you, doubted you, or allowed outside voices to influence what they felt. When they look at you, they may see the person they owe an explanation to. They may see the person who deserved honesty. They may see the path they did not take. And this creates a conflict within them. One part wants to come closer and reveal everything. Another part fears that too much time has passed, too much confusion has grown, or too much damage has been done. They wonder whether you would understand. They wonder whether you have changed. They wonder whether you still carry any warmth for them or whether the door has quietly closed. You have likely noticed small signs. Perhaps they glance at you when they think you are not watching. Perhaps they become unusually quiet when your name is mentioned. Perhaps they seem comfortable around others but tense around you. Perhaps they avoid direct eye contact yet remember tiny details about you. Perhaps their words appear ordinary, but their energy tells another story. These contradictions are not always proof of one specific outcome, but they can reveal inner conflict. Their heart may be moving in one direction while fear pulls them in another. Stay until the end, because the reason this message found you is not only about their hidden feelings. It is also about your transformation. You are not the same person they once knew. Something in your energy has changed. You have endured moments that strengthened you. You have learned to stand without the reassurance you once waited for. You have begun to see yourself differently, even if you still have days when doubt returns. Your face now carries a quiet power. It carries lessons, healing, resilience, and a deeper sense of self. This transformation makes it even harder for them to look at you, because they can see that you are no longer waiting in the same emotional place. They sense that you may no longer accept confusion. They sense that you have become more aware of what you deserve. They sense that your heart is still kind, but your boundaries are becoming stronger. This changes everything. Before, they may have believed they had unlimited time. They may have assumed the connection would remain exactly where they left it. But now, when they see you, they recognize movement. They recognize growth. They recognize the possibility that you may continue forward without them. That possibility has awakened something urgent inside them. They may not show it openly, but a question is following them: what if I wait too long? This question appears at unexpected times. It comes when they see something that reminds them of you. It comes when a conversation with someone else feels empty. It comes when they are alone after pretending all day that everything is fine. It comes when they remember your face and realize that it no longer carries the same waiting energy. The thought that you could emotionally release them frightens them more than they expected. Do not misunderstand this as a promise that they will act immediately. Human hearts can recognize truth and still hesitate. People can feel deeply and remain silent. They can regret and still resist responsibility. This is why you must not build your life around hidden emotions alone. Heaven is calling you to remain centered. Let actions reveal what words and glances cannot. Let consistency speak. Let honesty become the doorway. You are worthy of a connection that does not require endless guessing. But there is still more to understand, because their avoidance is also tied to an image of the future. At some point, whether they admitted it or not, this person imagined what life might feel like with you in it. It may have happened in a brief moment they quickly dismissed. Perhaps they imagined talking to you at the end of a difficult day. Perhaps they imagined seeing you in a familiar place, sharing laughter, building trust, or creating a peaceful life. The vision may have frightened them because it felt too real. They may have pushed it away, telling themselves it was unrealistic, impossible, or too complicated. Yet every time they see your face, that image returns. This is why their eyes may move away so quickly. Your face does not only remind them of the past. It also awakens a future they are uncertain they deserve. It reminds them of what could happen if they stopped running. It reminds them of the conversation that would need to take place. It reminds them that real connection requires truth, humility, and courage. They know they cannot move closer while carrying the same habits that created distance. They know something within them must change. The spiritual tension surrounding this situation is not about forcing two people together. It is about truth rising to the surface. What has remained hidden cannot stay hidden forever. The soul becomes tired of pretending. The heart grows weary of carrying words that were never spoken. Eventually, silence becomes heavier than honesty. Your special person is approaching that threshold. They are beginning to realize that avoiding your face has not protected them. It has only delayed the moment when they must face themselves. Something huge is waiting for you, and this next part may change the way you see everything. The feeling they experience when they look at you is not simply sadness, longing, or regret. Over time, seeing your face has started to feel like a home they walked away from before understanding its value. Not a physical home, but an emotional one. A place where they once felt recognized. A place where their heart became quiet. A place that reflected a version of love, trust, or connection they have struggled to find elsewhere. That is the unfinished sentence hidden in the title. Seeing your face feels like a home they are afraid they can no longer return to. They do not know whether the door is open. They do not know whether they are welcome. They do not know whether you would recognize the sincerity behind an apology. They do not know whether you would believe their feelings after so much silence. So instead of facing these questions, they avoid your eyes. They convince themselves that distance is safer. But every step away increases the ache they are trying to escape. There may be nights when they replay a moment with you and imagine responding differently. They may rewrite conversations in their mind. They may think of the words they should have said. They may remember your expression and finally understand what you were trying to communicate. Time has given them perspective, but perspective has also brought discomfort. They can now see what they could not see before. They can see where fear controlled them. They can see where pride silenced them. They can see where they expected you to understand things they never had the courage to explain. And now, your face has become the place where all those realizations meet. Do not skip the final moments of this part, because the cliff is closer than it appears. A decision is forming within this person. It has not yet become an action, but it is no longer only a passing thought. They are considering whether to reach out, speak honestly, or create a moment where they can finally face you without hiding. Something recently reminded them that time does not pause for indecision. It may have been a dream, a conversation, an unexpected memory, or the realization that your life is continuing to unfold. This reminder shook them. For the first time, they are not only afraid of rejection. They are afraid of never trying. They are afraid that one day they will see your face and realize the chance has completely passed. They are afraid that the home they remember will belong only to memory. This fear is creating movement, but there is one secret they have not revealed to anyone. It is the real reason they began avoiding your face more intensely than before. Something happened recently. A truth reached them. A message, a realization, or a piece of information connected to you entered their awareness and changed the way they see the entire situation. Since that moment, looking at your face has become almost impossible, because now they are not only carrying feelings. They are carrying a confession. And the confession is far more powerful than you think.